Hello and welcome to Temple Sounds Bowl Talk. In this episode, we're going to be speaking about different types of singing bowls that you should be aware of, from average quality to really good quality to incredible quality. And first, we have 4 different types here, starting with regular, kind of like eBay quality. You know what you're going to get on Etsy or eBay for really cheap. And they will produce a sound, just not really the most melodic sound you've ever heard in your life. But here, listen to this. Still a nice sound. This is a good one. These are not hand hammered. What they are is cast. And they're not made of bronze. They're made of bell metal. And that goes for this one too. They're both in the same category. Unhammered. So they're going to be a little bit more delicate. You don't want to drop them. And that's for these 2 types of bowls. You don't want to drop the hand-hammered ones either, but these types of bowls you have to be extra special careful with, especially if you're traveling. You want to put a lot of cushioning around the bowl so it won't get broken in transit. So this produces a sound. A sweet sound, but not necessarily with a lot of character, but just a good tone. So if you find one you like, it's a good way to get your feet wet and start in on your bowl journey, and see if you want to get better sounding bowls as time progresses, as time goes by, and as you need them. And with the wooden side, it's a little easier to play these. If the camera would focus. There we go. Okay, enough with the hunting camera. Let's move on to the next type, which is more silver tone. This one is a darker bowl here with inscriptions on the sides and Buddha inscribed. Let's see if we can get more light on that. Buddha inscribed on the interior. And a fairly short tone for this one too. As you can see, it dies down after like 15-20 seconds. Now switching these around. This one may hold its tone a little longer, mostly because of the way it was constructed, its shape and its form. So this one probably has a tone twice as long as this one does. And sounds like this. And with the wood side of the mallet, so these 2 are your beginner bowls. They're not too costly, and a good way to get into singing bowls in a fun way, and also for meditation. Don't expect them maybe to last forever, especially if you have kids playing them. But if you're careful with them, they should last a long time. But again, don't drop, and treat them like a wine glass, something that's fragile and produces a very nice tone for what it is. So expect this kind of sound on your starter bowls, your beginner bowls. And the only thing you have to watch out for is when you purchase them, make sure that they have, a 20-second, 25-second tone on them when hit like that with the soft mallet, to make sure they're not cracked. Because they crack so easy, that's the way you test them. Just a single hit like that. Just make sure that tone is full and doesn't peter out after 2 seconds. Because sometimes if you play like this, it'll still produce a tone, but you won't realize that the bowl is cracked or damaged or poorly made. So make sure it has a fairly long tone. So 20-30 seconds is all right and more for these types of bowls. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next level, which is a hand-hammered bronze bowl. This one is laser etched with a nice Terra design inside. And is a nice sounding bowl with a long tone, probably about 40 seconds, 1 minute, something like that. This is a good one. Again, when you test them, if you're at a shop or when you get the bowl home, just one hit and see how long that tone is. If you notice, hopefully the microphones are picking it up. This bowl has more melodious sound and a richer sound. And it's currently being made. It's a modern made bowl. And they should be fairly easy just to play, even with 2 fingers on a bowl of this size. Out like that. The best ones play easily like that. You hardly even have to touch them. And this kind of bowl will play a harmonic, which is that high tone. So that's the advantage to spending a little more money and getting a bowl that does a lot more and provides with a better sound. And again, make sure there's no damage or anything with the bowl when you get it. And the nice thing about these laser etched designs that you see here is that they don't interfere with the bowl sound too much, if at all. And if it's a good bowl to begin with, what happens is the laser etching is just kind of like a beautifying thing. And it's nice to have those symbols on a bowl if you need them. But it is a lot extra versus the straight bronze bowl with no design. So expect to pay more for the laser etching. So again, this is made of bronze, and bronze is 80% copper, approximately, and 20% tin. Many vendors say these are 7 metal bowls, and generally people like to hear that, but they're really not. They're 2 metal bowls. 99% of bowls are too metal, unless they're antiques, and even then, it's just straight bronze, which is cymbals, gongs, and highest quality bowls are made from bronze. And also beware, somebody tells you that this kind of bowl is an antique. It's not. The older bowls, they didn't put these kind of designs on them, 200 years ago or whatever, 100 years ago. They didn't have the technology and didn't know how to do it and didn't care to do it, didn't matter. So this has a very long tone. This is a really good bowl for a modern-made bowl. Enjoyable to play and enjoyable to listen to. Something that you would own for, a lifetime and pass it on to your kids. Okay, we're going to move on to the next level of bowls, which are antiques. And let's start with this. So this is about a 5-6 inch antique. And this is a regular, good quality antique. Just because it's an antique doesn't make it necessarily a great sounding bowl. Some antiques don't sound good at all. And a lot of antiques can be cracked too and have physical damage. This one will play the harmonic. I'm sure I really didn't test it before I started this video. But it plays a nice harmonic. And generally with the antiques, they have more character to them and more differences between the same size. And there's more variation in the tonal structure. Let's try this. So this has more character generally than modern-made bowls, but in this instance, the modern-made that I just played a couple of minutes ago, it definitely keeps up with a good level antique. So unless you have to own an antique, some people do, you probably can do okay with the modern-made bronze hand-hammered bowls too. As long as you get a good one, which is, out of 10, you get one really good one. And the majority are okay, and then there's some real not good ones, clunkers at the bottom of the other side of the bell curve, let's put it that way. So this is an average antique sound. Good, but not great. And then for the final level, and also keep in mind there are gradations between these levels, more so than what is in the scope of this particular video, and gradations up, gradations down. But this is an average good antique that most people will be happy with. Okay, now moving up onto a great sounding bowl. Let's see if that camera is going to focus in for me. So you can hear the difference. Now this is just a very rare bowl. It's going to have a long tone. It's making the camera defocus. So we'll go with the other camera. It's going to be characterized by a long, melodious tone, a rich, full tone, and an exquisite sound quality to that tone. This particular bow is hard for the camera to focus in on because it has no rough edges. It's completely smooth. On the sides, on the inside, there's nothing for the camera to focus on. Let's put it back here for a second. Kind of got it there when I get the edge on there in the focus spot. But as you can see, the camera's like, where's that? What do you want me to do? Okay, so anyway. So there's not a lot of sharp edges or design work for it to focus on, but that's a really good sign for a bowl, a really good sign, because if it's well made, a thicker type of bowl like this one, with this kind of beautiful melodious sound, and if you're willing to search high and low and spend the kind of money that this kind of bowl is going to cost, then you'll have the best. It's kind of like a museum quality heirloom. And this might have a tone of, 2 minutes, a minute strong, and then tapering off for another minute. And some even go for 3 minutes, some of the bigger ones. And it has a very, very slow taper downward and gradual. It just does not want to give up the tone. Making me feel pretty good right now. These kind of bowls have that extra thing that some people know about but rarely get to hear, which is the extra magic, if you want to call it that, a super quality to the sound that is difficult to make and rarely is heard. And it kind of blows you away. It's just so great. Me sitting here with this bowl is just an experience in itself. Okay, so just to review, you basically got 3 quality levels. The entry level, beginner level, which is not hand hammered, not made of bronze, but still a decent sound if you get a good one, and a nice way to start with the singing bowls. The next level is a good quality antique. Not like this, which is great, but good quality, and it'll get you there where you want to go meditation wise. And everyone's different, so someone may like this bowl and not like that bowl, and it's an individual choice. So it's best if you have the bowls right in front of you. You can pick the one that you want out of a bunch of them. So that would be the good quality antiques, and then the third quality is really museum quality, which is second to none, and it is based on the quality of the bowl. And this is still a bronze bowl. Maybe it has some other elements microscopically in it that, could be classified as 4, 5, 6, 7 elements, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. They got mixed in the mix by accident when they were smelting the metal. And but generally they're mostly bronze, which is 80% copper, 20% tin, maybe little molecules of extra stuff, silver, gold, whatever, iron, lead, maybe a few molecules here and there. You wouldn't know unless you actually had a spectral analysis done on that particular bowl. And there are machines that do that, but I think you can get them used for about $5,000, and people don't want to do that. Just enjoy the sound of your bowls. Doesn't matter if it's 2 elements or 20 elements, just as long as it sounds good to your ears. Okay, I think that's going to do it for this episode. And hope you had a good time listening to the different types of bowls and understand more what it takes to make a bowl, a good sounding bowl, and what to watch out for a little bit. And we'll go into more detail as I do more videos on this subject. So have a great day and week. Be peaceful in your life and enjoy your world. Peace. Goodbye.